Uh, Good afternoon. Welcome to the lesson of today, and I want us to discuss the position of Africa using what we call longitudes and latitudes. As it is being explained, this is the grade 7 work we are doing now. This is the first topic that learners we will start now preparing in advance from the first topic in grade 7, so that as we march forward, you can be able to answer some of the questions in grade 8 when time comes. The African position, the continent lies between the longitudes. So remember, we have the longitudes. These are lines, or we call them imaginary lines that runs from the North Pole to South Pole. And Africa lies between the longitude of 17 degree west and longitude 52 degree east. You can see from my map on my screen. Also, we have the latitude of the 2 degrees, that is 7 degrees north, and 35 degrees south. So we say that the longitudes and the latitudes can be described as follows. The longitudes are at 52 degrees east at the Cape Ras Hafun, or Cape Godofar in Somalia. That's the far east, the eastwards, the far east of Africa. And longitude of 17 degrees west of Cape Verde in Senegal, the far end of western part of Africa. We have latitude that runs from east to west, 37 degrees north at Cape Blanco in Tunisia, and latitude 35 degrees south at Cape Agulhas in South Africa. So you can see this African map, how it looks like. We have the 17 degrees west, that is the far longitude on the western side, and the far longitude of the eastern side is 52 degrees east. We have latitudes, 37 degrees north, and we have another one, 35 degrees south. Of course, that is how Africa is being enclosed. We can't forget the equator, which is 0 degrees. It also divides Africa into two parts, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Atlantic Ocean is to the west, while the Indian Ocean is to the east of the continent. Now you can see the Mediterranean Sea is to the north, while the Red Sea is to the northeast. We have the northern side of the map. You can see this is what we call Mediterranean at the northern part of Africa. Then Africa is to the south of Europe. Europe, remember, the continents in the world. So Africa is to the south of Europe, and Europe is to the north of Africa, of course. That is how Africa has been divided. I'm saying this is the Mediterranean Sea. We have the European nation here, or the continent here. This is Africa. So Africa found to the south of Europe, and the Red Sea at this point. This is what we call the Cape Blanco, the far north Cape in Africa. We have the Cape Verde in Senegal, the far western part of Africa. The far eastern part of Africa, we have the Ras Hafun and the Cape Agulhas. Then we say that in the north, it is approximately 7,000 kilometers wide from the north to south. In the north, from the south to north, from this Africa, we are saying that from this far end here in the northern part of Africa, it is in fact the wide here, the range is 7,200 kilometers wide, and from north to south, we say we travel 8 good kilometers from the south to north. Then longitude 20 degrees east divides Africa from north to south equally, while latitude is 0 degrees that cuts Africa from east to west, dividing the continent into the northern and the southern hemisphere. So we have longitude 20 degrees that divides Africa into two equal parts. Then from there, we say that the African coastline is also almost regular with few bays, including the Walvis Bay and the Lagoa Bay. Then the fun thing now, or the challenge of having a regular coastline. A regular coastline, we are seeing that it denies Africa many natural harbors and the breeding grounds for fish. So the breeding ground for fish needs what you call irregular. And a irregular shape, a irregular coastline, gives Africa what you call the high chances of having what you call the natural harbors. So an irregular coastal region is good because it provides a good area for breeding ground for fish, and also even a growing of planktons, the food for fish, and also provides a good ground for natural harbors. The bays are found where the sea enters the land, of course, yes, and we have the cape. A cape is a land that enters into the sea. The cape enters into the sea. There are also areas that projects into the sea or ocean. They are called capes, yes, into the sea. We call them capes.